want me, or you want just him? Okay. We don't like each other right now.
Oh, yeah.
Even though we're BFFs. IRL. Where's the camera? Oh, there's nobody actually there. Wait, it's over here? Yeah, Tom. Oh, Tom. Frustrating, huh? So you play EQ?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the EverQuest and EverQuest 2 tournaments. We are going to be showcasing only a short portion of them because we've already gone through quite a few of them. But we're going to find out who the winner is of the $6,000. Crazy, right? Come on, yeah. All right, and I have two of the team leaders with me right now. I'm going to let them each introduce themselves, tell us where their teams' guilds are from and whatnot.
I'm Shang, or Kim Jong-heel is my current main.
I thought your name was Tom.
No, Tom is actually my college's basketball coach, but it also stands for Tom over here because he's so awesome.
Wow. Oh, look at that, giving Tom Terrazas some love. All right, go on.
I'm from Zegany. All of my team is actually from Zegany. 5 of us from Realms of Insanity, and we have 1 member from Iratus Lepus.
Awesome. Are you guys prepared? Do you think you're going to win?
I don't know. Papa Kula's over here is a big guy.
All right. What do you got to say to that? What's your retaliation from that?
I am a big guy. No, so I'm Kulas from Real Insanity. My entire team is also from my guild, and we're just looking forward to doing the best we can, and hopefully we'll place.
So you guys have, we talked last year and a few years before, and so you guys did pretty well. Do you think you're going to stay up there, hold the crown jewels?
I think we'll win it. No pressure. I think we'll win it.
Oh, no pressure? You think you're going to win? Look at those guys. They're already giggling. They're ready to go. They're like, yeah, we got this. Okay. So I wish you guys both the best of luck. Maybe you guys should shake.
Let's do it.
They're going to hug it out. Perfect. All right. Thank you guys so much. And we're going to be switching over. We're going to go talk to the EQ2 team that is casting right now. All right, you two guys.
That's not us.
All right, now we're gonna go talk to the EQ2 teams. These are the 2 teams that are gonna be on the cams, and I just want to give them a chance to introduce themselves. Tell us where their teams are from, guilds, servers, all that.
Hi, I'm Gordon. We're from Antonio Bale, Keepers of the Drink, and just a bunch of people I found on the street over here. No, but
hey, we've had a couple pugs come in here.
No, we're actually all Keepers of the Drink. We've been around since the EverQuest, so we're ready to die on the spot.
I like that they all brought these lovely chalices. Did you bring something for us to drink? Because we're talking a lot. We get a little thirsty.
All right.
Plus, we're in Vegas. Why not? All right. What about you guys?
So we got kind of a diverse team here. 4 of us are friends for a long time, and we got a couple sort of pickups along the way. A couple of us were in Saints of Norath on Blackborough for a long time, if anybody remembers that guild. But yeah, hopefully it'll go well for us.
So friends IRL, or this is your first time kind of meeting up, like guildmates?
Oh no, a few of us have been here like a bunch of times. Like for I think us 2, we've been here 7 times. So.
Oh man, you're coming close to me. I've been to fan fairs and SOE lives for about 8 years now. So we're competing. All right, I want to give you guys a good shake. There you guys go. Good luck. And I'm going to toss it over to the casters who are going to be casting EverQuest 2. We're going to start with them because their tournament is a little bit shorter. And then we're going to be going over to the EverQuest team after that. So, to you guys.
All right, welcome back. If you've been here, I feel like we should have some like cool intro music.
I don't have any.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, well, sorry. Anyway, I am Jason Warner, Fireflight on the forums, and I am a designer on EQ2. I primarily at this point have been doing dungeons and population work.
And I'm Zelgid. I'm one of the systems designers on EverQuest 2. And let me tell you a little bit about this tournament that you're about to see. So we're running the Dread Cutter Zone, but it's specially tuned for heroic characters with 100 AAs. So at level 85, 100 AAs starting gear. So most people are used to way more AAs than that and way higher quality of gear.
I mean, even if they weren't maxed AAs, most people have been well over 100 for a while, and this does not allow you to go fully down any of the AA paths.
Right, and you're going to be missing a lot of things that you're used to. Simple things such as like more casting speed, more reuse speed. So you're going to be waiting for your cooldowns a little bit more. You're going to be waiting for your spells to finish. It's going to take a little bit longer.
And you'll be fully missing some certain abilities.
Just pure abilities. Yes. You can't have your elemental toxicity and your elemental blast.
Which I discovered when we were testing this out. I play a conjurer, and I was trying to I'm so used to having both of those abilities, and then when we went to play, I of course didn't have my Arcane Bewilderment to drop myself aggro position, so we suddenly pulled a bunch of stuff. I'm like, no problem. I start nuking it. I get aggro, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just die. And a lot of teams that we've seen today already have been having some trouble adjusting to this because it's just very unfamiliar.
And we've gotten a lot of comments during the post-match, the post-run interviews saying, I wasn't used to how many AAs I had. I wasn't used to not having all this casting speed, all this reuse speed. So what they're going to be doing is they're going to be fighting on a pirate ship, and it's got 4 bosses and a lot of trash. The trash has pretty big social range.
Yes, there's a lot of you have to be very careful controlling your aggro,
and you've got to be ready and ready for how many mobs are going to come. You got to be ready. The layout of this match has been quite known for a while. It's been a bunch of experiences. We used a similar one last tournament.
Yes.
So the layout is the same, but the characters are not. And last year we set your group. We said you have to use these 6 classes. This year with our new tournament layout, we're letting the teams pick their own classes.
Right, so they can play something that they're familiar with.
Right, because
but not familiar with 100 AAs as they discovered.
But they'll know a little bit more.
Well, right, yes. They should know all the base.
Instead of forcing someone to play a Coercer when they're playing an Illusionist.
Correct.
Or a Wizard when they're used to a Warlock or something like that.
Yes.
So right now they're actually in the starting area where the community lounge.
So we give them 10 minutes to set up. They come in. They're creating heroic characters, which is a feature that you can do, that anyone can do. When you create a new heroic character, it'll start you off at level 85 with a set of gear and 100 AAs. And now they've got 10 minutes to kind of set the character, especially the AAs. They're going to want to go through it.
Right, and they also got to get their focus effects and their character traits.
Yes, so they want to get all of that set up.
And their Grandmasters.
Before they get running. So that's kind of what they're doing now.
Instead of being at Master or... They're actually starting with depth spells, so that Grandmaster choice can actually make a noticeable difference.
Yes.
I believe it's almost a 30% increase to that specific spell. So the correct Grandmaster choice could really be
right. And this zone is tuned to be fairly difficult. We did a special tuning for it so that it works with these characters, but it's not like by any stretch an easy zone.
As of right now, I don't believe anybody's finished it.
No. In fact, a lot of people have gotten stuck on the hallway after the first boss, which anyone that's familiar with the zone will know that you can chain aggro very easily there.
It's a gauntlet with a lot of things in social range, so you can end up with one mistaken earthquake. You could end up...
I absolutely did not cast a blue AE in the middle of there and pull 6
So as you can see right now, he's selecting his traits.
Okay, yeah. So they're getting...
they're getting ready to...
They're getting set up. We'll have more, I think, to comment on them once they start rolling.
So I believe the furthest someone's gotten right now is they actually had the third boss to 20% when they went down.
Oh, right when the... did they die?
No, they died and didn't have time to get back there and finish it.
That's unfortunate. One other thing to note is that characters can die 10 times in this. We don't have this one set up to repair your armor for you. So
there's no mender.
If you die 10 times, your armor all breaks.
Right now,
we've allowed people to create new characters in that case, but they have to do it quickly. You got to, you create your character, get your setup, and then jump right back into the action.
And when that happens, what are you going to do? You lost all that time, and you don't have time to build your own AA spec. You're going to probably have to use one of ours, which are not optimized for this
right.
zone.
So that's probably not like. I mean, somebody could potentially come up with some viable strategy. Oh, I'm going to rush it and die 10 times as a paladin, and then come back as a Shadow Knight. But I don't think that's probably going to work out in their benefit. I think you'd lose more time.
You lose more time than you'd gain, in my opinion.
Yes.
So it's gonna be interesting. And while we're waiting, why don't you tell them a little bit about Zavithloa, which is coming out
okay,
with
yeah,
expansion.
some expansion stuff. So I have been working on a zone called Zavithloa. There was a little bit of info earlier here and in our
It should have
panels
been on our Twitch stream as well.
Right. Oh, okay, cool. And there will be actually more info on it later, but just to give you a quick rundown, I've been super excited about this zone because it's got dinosaurs, or dinodons, as we're calling them, because you'll actually notice that they're a little bit different than traditional dinosaurs. But it's a really fun zone. It's actually a cavernous zone inhabited by lizardkin, which are slightly different from our regular lizard men, and they're all new models and whatnot. And they've sort of conquered. This is their homeland. They've conquered the dinodons in this zone, and it's. But it's been really fun. I've gotten to populate through the caves, and they've got this kind of network of bone bridges and whatnot over parts of the cavern that they inhabit. And
I mean, I love dinosaurs too, but what's your favorite dinosaur model that you put in there that Tom Toby made for you?
yeah, well, animated for me.
Oh, animated.
Yes. Which one's my favorite? There's one You know what? I don't want.
You don't have a favorite? You don't
No, I
want to
do. I do have a favorite. I just don't want to say it because it's the final boss of the zone.
Okay. Any
You will
specific-
see it at the end of the zone. The final boss is not a lizardkin.
The final boss of the zone
it's a
is
giant
Fireflight's
dinodon.
favorite.
Dun dun dun. So it should be fun. I actually put a lot of special little things into the zone. Hopefully they won't make the zone particularly irritating or difficult once you've kind of learned how to deal with them, but there will be a little bit of a learning
Some
curve.
traps
with the
and
zone.
tricks.
Just some traps and tricks to kind of it helps make the zone feel more alive too.
And more interesting because you don't
Yes.
want to just tank and spank everything right through. And
Exactly.
just run.
And
You'll just forget about it, right?
Yes, yeah. So and eventually people will learn the tricks. They'll know how to avoid or just bowl right through all this stuff. But I think it'll be a fun experience when people first go in there. So I've had a lot of fun.
I also
that.
you're the one who made the upside down dungeon too, right?
Oh, there is a. You know what? Well, maybe we'll save
We'll
that
save
for
one
a little
save
later.
them for a little later.
I've been populating it. I certainly haven't.
It's not done.
Did not make that zone. That our artists
Of course.
had to do a whole lot of work to make that work upside down, and it's been kind of crazy trying to get it to all work, but it's looking really good. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of the stuff that's coming with our expansion.
Yeah.
We got some new prestige abilities that I've.
Ooh,
I've
yeah,
got.
some fun.
We got
Zelgad tell about that.
Yeah, we got the temporal mimicry, which enchanters can get, and I can cast that on my. You can be my pretend warlock. I can cast it on you, and when you use Plaguebringer, I can mimic your Plaguebringer.
Right.
So that's kind of cool.
Now I have to ask. For that particular ability, do you get credit for that damage when we're parsing it?
Of course I do.
That's fantastic. So it's like you're actually casting
So
that
instead,
spell.
you'll cast it, and then my mimicry will cast it immediately after. So
Excellent.
yours, then mine. Mine, unfortunately, it's set up so mine can't double cast because it kind of works like that to begin
Right.
with.
So those guys are now going to all be requesting to be put in groups with super hide. They're like, put
It's
me in with the best
raid
DPS.
wide.
Oh,
You can pick
really?
anyone
You
in
can
your
pick
raid.
Anyone. Excellent.
Because since it's an enchanter ability, if a coercer that's put in the main tank group might not be able to have a good mage, a good target for that.
Right.
You can also do cool things like if you put it on a Fury and a Fury uses their damage spell that does a heal as well, you'll mimic that. So you'll also be able to do a little bit of utility.
And these abilities, just to mention also, in addition to being mechanically very awesome, a lot of them are very visually cool. You've put a lot of work into making some.
We got a fun one. I don't know if our systems panel is going to be live streamed, but I'm sure it'll be posted somewhere.
He'll talk about
But
it more
we'll be
in the
talking
systems
about-
panel. We don't want to spoil everything.
We don't want to
just
spoil
yet.
everything, but there's some visually awesome stuff for these new AAs, as well as just pretty cool power increases.
So a lot of neat stuff. So our groups are still getting set up here. They're going through their AAs. That's so one thing we've been noticing a trend is that the groups that are a bit more defensively or defensive oriented have been doing a little bit better, because if you miss pull and accidentally grab.
I don't think that an offensive group is really at a major disadvantage. They actually might actually have an advantage.
Right.
However, it is more difficult So if you make any minor mistake, you might end up in a situation.
Right. Well, I mean, obviously, yes, an offensive group's going to go a bit faster, but it is very easy in this zone to make that mistake.
One mistake could cause much more trouble for an offensive group than a defensive group.
Right.
And crowd control is actually has been noticeable during this.
Yeah, that's a.
We have 1 minute left for the AA setups.
Once that 1 minute's over, they're going to be getting the quest, then they're going to be hitting the portal, zoning in. There's a barrier that they'll have to take down.
Right.
Once they take down that barrier, their time begins.
Okay.
Again, they have to rush through the pirate ship, kill as many bosses as they can.
Right. And if they get all 5 of the bosses, then we go with whoever has the.
I believe it's 4.
Oh,
no, it might be 5.
Okay. Well, it depends on if we took any
there's the
out.
first room, there's the chef, there's the upstairs, and there's the final boss. So there's 4.
Oh, okay. So we took one out, or was there never one in there?
No, your memory is wrong, I believe. Or it's my memory that's gone. But
no, I think you are correct. There's so much base pop in that zone.
4, 3, 2, 1, start.
Here we go.
Okay.
You are going to turn to the right. There's going to be an NPC. You're going to click on the NPC. You're going to start the portal. Team leaders, click on the portal, and all of your team members need to accept and share the quest.
Okay, well, here we go.
There's the portal, and here we go.
I don't know how to do the voice.
Well, they're zoning in now. We're getting the signal from Tom Tarasas to say something about their zoning. So this is a lovely zoning screen.
Accept the quest.
All right, there's the quest and the barrier. Once all 6 of them have the quest, they can take down the barrier.
And when you're
their
ready,
time will
click
start.
the barrier.
All right. Okay, so this group, I noticed one other group earlier. This group does have a bard in it, either a troupe or a dirge. Can you tell from the spell effects?
Of course, you can see the notes. You know, we haven't had many groups running with bards this time. I get a lot of people have been loading up on DPS, so it's a different strategy since bards bring some pretty good utility to the.
Yeah, well, and I think
field.
utility is probably smart considering how much trouble people have been having with. Just ads in general, extra groups, polls.
A troubadour brings a little bit of crowd control that on top of the enchanter.
Okay, are we all ready?
Right.
And then the dirge actually brings more survivability with percussion of stone. And
right. Well, and that's another thing is yes, just utility actually in these zones is seems pretty important, or in this zone seems very important.
And they're actually without all their AAs, there's actually some power issues that they can potentially have.
Oh yeah,
we run out of mana and a bar can help. They have actually begun. They're pulling the first mob.
Oh, here we go. Okay, well that was a clean pull.
Their tank is taking a little bit of damage. So on the below where you can see right now, there's actually roamers on that deck.
Right.
There's stationary guards as well, but the social range is pretty big.
Yeah.
So you have to be really careful with how you're pulling.
Well, and I think that's one of the kind of the major issues with this zone, right? Is there are a lot of roamers that roam between groups, and if you catch the groups while the roamers right in between, you'll chain aggro and grab.
You can grab the whole front of the deck.
Everything.
I don't think with the amount of AAs and the amount of gear, I don't think if you pull that whole floor, you're not going to survive. I don't think any group makeup can do it.
I just want to toss in some information to you guys. What's interesting is that one of these teams is the only other team. There's 2 teams that have ever attempted to try one healer, and they're trying a warden though. The other team tried a defiler, had to re-roll because it didn't work out for them. So we'll see how the one healer warden works out for them.
Okay,
the advantage that the warden has over the defiler is while the warden can't use wards, as you know, it's kind of silly warden wards, but they're a druid. They have much faster casting times than either a cleric or a druid or a shaman who have the same. They actually have the same cast time,
which will come into play here where we don't have 100% cast speed.
Right. So you'll notice it a little bit more. We got the mass right in our line of view, but.
Right. Well, this group so far has had some pretty clean pulls. They've managed to, it looks like, get both single pulls or at least single groups.
Right. Most groups have had an issue pulling the first part.
Yeah.
Maybe they formulated a good strategy.
And I'll let you in on a little secret. When the devs tested this, we actually wiped a number of times on the first few pulls. We were tuning, so you know.
Yeah, we started out. There was some broken stuff with 30,000 damage hits when you have 20,000 HP, but we fixed that.
Whatever.
I hope.
Just use a Shadow Knight and they can put on
Bloodletter.
Yeah.
And then we have to wait 2 minutes.
Whatever.
Looks like they're formulating their strategy a little bit as they get ready to attack the roamer down there. The deck is still dangerous. With as long as that roamer's moving, the deck is dangerous.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to see. So last year, the team that won this actually didn't pull a whole half of the ship. They managed to go through one side, and they knew the pulls on this so well that they were able to.
But we did increase the aggro radius.
Oh, we increased it. I
Yes.
thought we had decreased it. Goodness,
We
that's-
adjusted it.
I see. So
I'll cover my bases. We adjusted.
Okay,
the
there you
social
go.
radius.
There you go. So that I guess that'll be more difficult, and that also explains why my earthquake pulled so many things, Mike. I blame you.
I didn't do it.
Don't
I didn't push the blue.
do not
blue
cast
button.
blue AEs once you're in the first boss room.
We've renamed that to
Does
Fireflight's
not-
Death Trap.
Yeah, it doesn't work out well for you. Well, it
Doesn't
didn't
work well.
Didn't work out well for us.
Yeah,
So,
maybe people can handle it.
maybe. With these characters, that's very difficult, and I think that's one of the major reasons we've seen so many deaths is people are used to having all of they're used to just overpowering some of the stuff. They're like pulling 2 groups, no problem, I'll just AE it. And
Or even a monk who can have their max reuse with a super long duration tsunami. You can't get that with this, so
Right.
you won't be able to use your temps as often.
Right,
You
and
won't
if
be able
you-
to use them as long.
if you pull 2 groups, I haven't seen anybody make it through if they pull like six NPCs at once,
You're in trouble.
they're gone. So far, if somebody like
I'll be impressed.
comes up with a
I'm
makeup
gonna try
that can-
pulling the guys at the.
Okay. If somebody comes up with a group makeup that can handle it, then I will be impressed. These guys
Or
are.
strategizing, it looks like.
Yep,
Big
they're
raid.
going very carefully. Well, I think they're waiting for that wanderer to wander away. I was speculating on whether or not they're just going to try and pull one side of the ship here.
And we've switched to the other team, it looks like, or a different view on the same team.
I would say the other team, maybe. Yeah, because look, they've already cleared out the right hand.
Yes.
The right hand hallway. So they're actually both of these teams look like
being
they're
very
doing pretty
cautious.
well. Yes, they're being cautious, which again has been working for people for this one. The people that have gotten the furthest
Have been the ones who weren't rushing it.
Yes. On the other hand, at this point,
If someone
we've gotten some teams that have gotten pretty far, so you have to be a little bit. I mean, you
have
only
to-
have 30 minutes.
You only have 30 minutes. Any team that kills the 3rd boss right now will be in 1st place.
Right. So they that's the furthest that anyone's made it. You said that they wiped at 20% on that boss.
20%.
Oh, that's
And they had 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining on the zone. After you get to that 3rd boss, there's only it's him and the next boss. No trash. You've already cleared it off. So
Right.
if they had pulled it completely smooth,
they might have been
They
able
might
to
have been able to
finish it.
finish it.
Oh, that's got to be frustrating.
well, they're in 1st place right now, and
They are.
and we're nearing the end of our tournament. So depending on the results,
Right. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get a bit of competition. It'll be more exciting,
All right,
obviously.
guys. Thank you so much, Zelged and Fire. We are going to be switching over and checking out the EQ version of the tournament right now. And we're going to be having some of the devs over there casting. So, just so you guys know who are in the crowd, they are challenging each other for $6,000. Come on, give it a big round of applause for all the teams that have been playing today. Come on, a bigger round of applause for that. EverQuest 2, man, yeah. All right. Anybody have any favorites? Can I hear some cheers out there for some teams? I'm hearing some. All right. Okay, and we're going to be switching over to check out the casters over there. I think they're ready to rock and roll. These are the 2 devs that work on EverQuest. We're having like dev casters this week. It's been kind of exciting. Whenever they're ready, let's switch over to them.
So yeah, we actually are we have more than 2 devs. We're just 2 of the devs.
Oh yeah, you guys got a lot of those.
At least 2.
So
you are the 2 though.
yeah, well, all right, fair enough. My name is Doug Cronkite. I am Elidroth. I'm assistant lead on EverQuest.
Oh, I'm Jonathan Carricker. I go by Prathan, and I'm the lead designer on EverQuest.
So it looks like our 2 teams that are playing right now, one of them has just finished up with Faradar in Vishan's Peak and are moving on to Derrickor the Vindicator. So this is getting kind of up into the range where a lot of the guilds have been blocked, I guess. They've been cut short around this area.
Yeah, you can tell these teams have been practicing. They've been working on this a while. And there's been some new changes this year, and they've had to adapt to that.
Yeah, we put the event out on the test server for players and live servers, I believe, did we not?
And live, yeah.
To get some practice in before SOE Live, and it's clearly paying off as a whole lot more teams look really ready this year. Last year, the team that has won for the last 4 years really was one of the only ones that was up at this sort of level, and now everybody is really kind of driving towards the end. This is going to be a tight competition at the end. I still don't know who's in the lead.
Yeah, you can tell there's some popular classes. You can only bring one of each class, and it seems like there's been some favorites. Shaman.
Yeah, nobody seems to like playing.
Popular.
Nobody likes the Ranger, which is kind
That's true. Yeah, I don't know if I saw any Rangers. Maybe one Ranger all.
Which would have been probably good really early on if they were trying to track down Kazel when he was running around.
That's true. Yeah, you kind of need it in that first instance. You've got a big zone. You got to find that guy as fast as possible. Seconds count, so you want to kill him as quickly as you can.
Yeah, it looks like our lead group has already taken down Derek-Or.
Very nice.
Moving on to
the next.
Then moving on to Jelinek.
Yeah, very good.
This is getting tight. This is pretty close to where most of the groups have been holding up.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier this year. We toned things down.
Right.
I think people got through about 9 of the 18 possible bosses last year, so we toned it down a little bit, hoping people would be able to get a little further this year.
Right. And of course, the practicing helps because knowing how to play is always good when you're talking about EverQuest.
Yeah, again, every second counts. You've got 40 minutes to get as far as you can.
Yep.
It looks like Enchanters are in this year, and I don't know if they were popular in the past.
It's a different makeup than I have seen in recent years, that's for sure.
It seems like Mages and Necros are pretty much a given. I think every group has run one of each of those.
Yeah, there's nothing like throwing your pet at things. The instant cast pet. Here's another. So on to Jelinek. Now, if I recall, there's only a few groups that have gotten this far. So this is a race for the money, so to speak.
And Jelinek is no joke when you're level 50. These are level 50 template characters with level 50 gear and level 50 abilities.
And they've been modified, of course. These are not the level 50. These are not the NPCs you'll find out in the live game.
Not the level 50s you're looking for.
No. And the other group is working hard on Derek-Or the Vindicator still.
Now I remember this was a full guild event when
no doubt.
Derek-Or the Vindicator.
You bet. Back when I was raiding, back in my day. Yeah, this guy was tough, and
it was really an accomplishment. If your guild could kill DTV, you were
him, and then of course Statue of Ralisek and Avatar War. But now it looks like both of our stage groups here are going against Jelinek, or at least heading to Jelinek.
Yeah, they're talking to Tuda Sally here, trying to get into the next instance as fast as possible. So they're all spam hailing him.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't quite see what the messaging is there as far as the time remaining, but it's getting close. These guys are progressing really well, though. Be interesting to see if somebody can actually dethrone our 4-time reigning champions on the EQ SOE Live event.
Do we have a time left? Can somebody feed us the time remaining? About 15 minutes. They've got about 15 minutes
wow,
left to go.
These guys are progressing well.
Which is very good.
Very good.
I love that combat music. That really brings back nostalgia.
Brings back a lot of memories. For those of you who actually play EQ with music on, of which there are.
I see, one person over here has headphones on out of 12. Those guys actually appreciate the sound. Look at that. They got 4 out of 6.
4 out of 6 have the headphones on from Razer.
Yeah,
Jelinek is going down well. These guys are really practiced.
Yeah, that's fast. It looks like they had
down to 40% already. No, lower than that. Jelinek is done.
Yeah, no deaths. That's really impressive.
That's very
amazing.
impressive. That's a
and
very
he's gone.
Yeah. Now they're going to be moving on to Vulak, which has been traditionally the roadblock.
Now we despawned the corpses. Now that's another change I forgot about. Yeah, it's pretty minor. It might save you a second or two not having to accidentally loot that corpse or
just
render it.
Anything to get them to the next target.
Now, I'd guess that about 50% of groups now are running a monk.
That would make sense. Although the templates really haven't changed all that much, so now it's much. I guess the changes in the NPCs warrant a monk being useful now.
Yeah,
in the event.
They don't run out of muscle.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then like you said, practicing really helps. You can run this with it, thousands of different group combinations to find out which one is going to work for you.
That's true. And there he is.
Yeah, kind of a short run, not very far, and not very difficult to get to Vulak there.
Considering where you're zoning into these zones, yeah, this was set up to be a time trial kind of a quick event. This isn't like if you were playing through Temple of Ishan normally.
Yeah.
No ring events.
Yeah, my guild never finished Vulak because he got turned to do a ring event about the same time we got to where we could take him out, and it was way too difficult for us to handle.
My guilds were among the first to beat Vulak, and it's funny because my guild must have killed Vulak 100 times.
Wow.
And the one weapon that I wanted, which was Jalen's Katana of Pain, never dropped on my server except for one guild, and that guild was arguing about who to give it to so long that the corpse timer expired and it poofed, and they never gave it to anybody.
Oh, that's great.
I wanted that weapon so bad.
Should have been there to ninja loot it.
Yeah, corpse is free, give it. Which, of course, our new looting system takes care of. You can't do
That's
that no
true,
more.
yeah.
So we have some questions in chat. What level are the people that are running in the tournament?
The template characters are playing are level 50.
Yeah, you're not playing your actual character for this event.
Right.
You're choosing from a selection, one of the 16 different classes, and you can bring up to one of each.
Right. We wanted to
Fill
make
out
sure
your
that
group.
players weren't stacking, multiple mages, multiple necros, or whatever. So we limited the event to one unique class per group, and these are level 50 templates. But again, admittedly, these NPCs they're fighting are not the same damage or hit points or difficulty as their live counterparts. They're representations for the nostalgia fun of the event.
Yeah, you want to keep the same flavor and feel without it
Right.
destroying a 6-man group.
Exactly. Vulak still does have he still does have that ancient slow, which was such a nightmare.
Yeah, slows were brutal.
Well, the ancient slow, of course, if you remember, never wore off, even if you zoned. It only would wear off if you died. So they got that fun to deal with. And here they go. This is our lead group.
Running in. Vulak, mouth open
Man,
wide.
This guy was the meanest guy way back in the Velius days.
Yeah.
And there he is.
I think there were areas where you just could not stand in this room, or else you'd be swarmed by an army of flurry drakes.
Yeah.
Those guys were no joke.
No.
Oh, we got the man down.
Man down.
It's like the Enchantress on the ground. Now, is this a belly cast mob? I don't know. You have to be under this to hit it.
This is old school.
So yeah, you've got to be right under this guy to hit him with the spell.
There's no ducking around geometry or standing out of AOE range.
That was the fixed, to prevent hiding behind poles.
Yeah, because geometry was kind of rough in this place. We actually used to use geometry against one of the
they got him.
And they got Vulak. Down he goes.
Woo!
Now let's see if they can get a hold of one of the warders, because
they're doing great. How much time is left on the clock? They got about 10 minutes left.
They're really cruising. This is impressive. I don't want to jinx them, but we could have a new event champion.
Yeah, have we said yet what the prize is for this? Can we comment on that?
We can talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, the winning group gets $6,000 distributed amongst each of the members, so $1,000 apiece. That's real money, not station cash.
We've got 11 minutes left, and this is great. I think these guys are.
These guys are cruising.
Yeah, they're ahead. I think of the best groups that have come before.
I don't know where the other groups had finished up. I don't want to give any details away. I'm just comparing to what they did last year. This is kind of where the winning group got to last year, and so these guys are really doing well on time. Now you get to see the real EQ.
So this is
medding.
This event here is no joke. They've got to take all 4 warders down to complete the next event in the series.
And now the other
these guys are just behind him. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a close race even between these two guys.
Looks like they saved some pets for this. You've got a finite amount of pet reagents.
Oh, nice.
I can see running out of that if you just send them into their death.
And without the corpses showing up,
events.
You can't actually get the new. You can't get any more reagents in throughout the zone. You could have before. It's going well. Can't quite see his health bar. Where is his? Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
there
he's almost done.
And he's almost
single digits, and he's dead.
No deaths. That's a
nice.
clean fight. And they're moving on.
They're rolling right into the next one. Now, in the past, I want to say the first year this was run, no one got past Dracolich, and he was the 4th mob in the list, 5th mob.
There were a couple of groups that actually figured out how to get past him using a particularly creative group makeup, because we didn't have the limit on the single class a single class limitation, so people were stacking mages and stacking necros and just throwing pets at him like crazy.
Okay.
And they did beat him, but a lot of groups were blocked by Dracolich, and that's when we decided, okay, we need to clean this thing up and made some changes to make it easier and make the difficulty progression kind of scale accurately from mob to mob. And, so yeah, now we've got both groups in the place, Sleeper's Tomb.
In Sleeper's Tomb, yeah.
Man, I remember this place.
Staring down one of the 4 warders there.
Yep. Not a joke. Not a joke. To this day, on my play account, I still get people angry at me and my guild because we released the sleeper on Grizzle Row.
Yeah,
people are still yelling at me.
Yeah. The guys on my server that woke up the sleeper out of rotation and against the wish of everyone else on the server, they were vilified.
Oh yeah.
For years, possibly still are.
I still get these. I'm sure it's out of fun now, but these people are sending me text messages basically like, "You released the sleeper, you're evil."
Yeah, I was online when that happened. It was hilarious.
It was awesome. It was very cool.
It looks like they're matting up, like you said.
Yeah.
This is
really
cute.
This
and
is
I think
really
this is why enchanters are going to be important in this.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
In this group makeup, yeah. You need to get in there quick. You need to med up and get your mana back as fast as possible.
Need those clarity buffs.
Yeah.
So they're close. And looks like they're probably sitting on 7 or 8 minutes to go. 7 minutes.
7 minutes left on the clock.
Minutes. And is this the group that's ahead, or is this the group that's chasing these guys? I don't remember.
No, they're pretty close.
They are very close.
They're neck and neck.
Very nice. Progressing well. And don't remember how long we're going to leave this on live after SOE Live is over, but if players wanted to jump on there and kind of compare themselves to how these guys are doing, it's out on live servers right now.
So I think we've got a monk, a magician,
Clearly
a necro, an enchanter,
shaman,
a shaman, and a cleric. So it looks like they're using the monk for the tank.
Yeah, or no, that would have to be the monk. Yeah.
Yeah. And unless the
Going
pets,
well.
unless they're using the pets for that.
But they really can't use the pets with proximity aggro for an actual
Ah,
player,
that's
right?
true. Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that.
Unless of course that's not triggering on shrouds.
No, it's got to work.
It has to work. Has to.
So yeah, this was a zone that was really special. If you were in the Velius era and you were in this zone, then you were one of the top top tier guilds. Yeah. You had to get one key per kill per person in order to get into this zone, and this is all contested. Nothing was instanced. This predated the days of instance encounters.
That's the first one. We actually this is the first warder we killed back in the day too. We left the white one, which was Ventani, up as the last warder, and that was the one we'd always like, oh, let's do this, and we'll share the spawns. And then we decided, nah, screw that. We killed him. And no more monkey maces or. Because the
no more fun for other people.
No. Yeah, we were vilified.
Oh, hey, there's some cheering going on.
Cheering going on from the other group.
Something just happened.
Something just happened from the other group. If we could switch over to the other camera.
Yeah, it looks like that monk is not tanking, so it's definitely on somebody else.
Somebody else, yeah. But they are definitely trucking right through. They are
I can't tell. There's too much particles going on to see who that dragon is chewing on.
It's hard to say. Is it the cleric?
I don't know.
Are they using stun and heal aggro or to?
Maybe you get a shaman tank.
Oh, good call. 8 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Some of these groups are on slightly different time remaining.
Yeah.
So that looks like group number 2 here has 8 minutes remaining, which is great.
And
to actually be in Sleeper's Tomb with 8 minutes left on the clock.
And there goes that one. Down goes the purple warder.
Dragon down.
I still, for EQ players, dragons are still that's the nostalgia for EQ.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be
I
cool.
think dragons and giants are always good classic.
Always good stuff to fight.
Yeah,
it's a
epic encounters.
It's a sentimental kind of like I say, a nostalgia fight. Yeah, for sure. Moving on, 1 of 4 down.
And I think that will show up in their task window as 1 out of 4.
Correct. That is a stage win effectively. The warders were part of the task, but
so yeah, bragging rights are on the line here, but so is a whole lot of money.
A lot of money. That looks like Ventani over there in the corner.
That's right.
I believe that was the white one.
So what did these guys do? What were the abilities of the warders?
Ventani had a brutal AoE, and it was a cold-based AoE that just we fought it literally. We fought completely as a ranged fight. We had all the healers hidden behind a wall, and they would just heal the main tank, and it was also slowing as well, if I remember.
Oh yeah, that's brutal.
every one of us were levitated over the water, standing way back and just shooting. We did it all with archery.
Yeah, there were a lot of dragons. Crazy. Like the strategy was to get rangers in there and just true shot.
Blast them.
Yeah, you wanted to kill it as quick as possible. Like the amount of damage they could pump out was too much to really tank it reliably for any length of time.
This looks
you just
like
need to kill
both.
it. Kill it and kill it now.
It looks like both groups are actually right at the same mob. This is neck and neck.
Yeah, you can see as they flip back and forth, they're in about the same position.
Both
just staring down the same dragon.
Ventani, right?
Yeah, medding is really important. Interesting to note, the bards are not a class that I've seen at all today.
No, not a bit.
That's another option to get mana regen, but it doesn't seem like they've made the cut.
It's also an option for running faster if you have to go around
That's
places.
True. Yeah, that could save you some time. But these guys must know. They've been practicing. They must have tried it. And the bards are also a good class that does not have to wait on their mana. They're just good to go.
They got the songs to play it. We're also real good at doing the if bard stuff. So, and they're engaged. We got one group engaged. Trying to see if the other group is.
I think that's
pulling him back.
Looks like that's the same model as Gore.
Yeah, Ventani was a white dragon similar to Gornar. That. Look at him go.
That sounded painful. That was that bone crunching sound when you take it.
When you take a really critical hit. Can't quite see the. Oh yeah, they're making good progress.
Yeah, they're not afraid to leave spell effects on.
They're crushing him.
Look like they've got
They've got this one going.
A really good setup for hotkeys.
But she is a white. She is a white dragon. There, remember, there is a. There it is.
Oh no! Was there a CH?
Complete heal.
Oh no!
Oh, sorry, that's a different target. Never mind. Oh, there it is. Ventani the warder. Yeah, they're down to like 21%.
20%. It's dropping rapidly.
Going well. They're about to kill Ventani.
It's down.
It goes.
Very nice.
Wow, Group 2 is now in the lead. They've caught these guys and passed them. Moving on to warder number 3. Probably have 3 to 4 minutes left, maybe 5. Going well.
Yeah,
see if they can get over there and met up in time to actually engage this one.
Looks like these dragons are arranged in a square around the centerpiece there.
Around the center, and there's the other group engaging Ventani.
That's somebody's corpse there.
Ventani's
not something you want to see.
Yeah, this is they're having a rougher go of this. This is kind of like what we did.
Not afraid to leave spell effects on.
No. That's a brave.
I guess it does give you a little information,
It's a brave thing.
You know when something's landed.
Yep. A lot of people down into the. Oh, there's one death. A lot of people down in the low health numbers.
Yeah. Rube number 5 is down. Number 4 just went 0.
This could.
It looks like they're going to get this guy.
Is.
I think they're going to get him.
Can't see where. Can't see where
those monks are sturdy, right?
They are, yeah. Monks at level 50 were no joke.
Yeah.
One guy's back up. Now they're down to 1 death still. It's getting close. And
it looks like that's
there. It goes.
Oh, it looks like they died about the same time. Yeah, there we go. They still have one man standing.
The warder, 2 warders down.
Now it takes you 15 seconds. There's a minimum of
1 minute
seconds after death before you can spawn back in. Oh, they're out of time.
That's basically the end.
Looks
yeah,
like they
they got it
killed
right
that guy just as the time ran out. So that'll kick him out of the zone. And
that was a pretty impressive display right there.
That was incredible. Yeah, we didn't have any other groups, I don't think, that had killed a warder.
No, not. We still do have one group that's unfortunately not on camera. We have one group that started a little late, and they're.
Yeah, I can't quite see from here.
Can't
where
really
they're
tell
at, so maybe somebody can tell us where they're.
Looking on
what
the
their progress is.
Like they're in Velkator's labyrinth right now.
Okay, so they're about to take on Velkator the sorcerer. They started a little later, so they've got more time.
It's hard to tell from this angle because we're looking sort of down from the camera down onto their monitor.
So the proctors are going around. They're checking the times. They're writing everything down. They're going to see how far they got and how much time it took them to get there.
That's the issue there. So that's okay.
Okay.
So realistically, they probably are. They're doing it for pride now. They're not really. not really going to have a chance to challenge against the guys who've beaten Ventani. That's impressive.
It was good that they were here for the last round. That was a very impressive run for both Group 1 and 2.
Both groups. And if I remember correctly, both of these groups are actually from the same guild.
I think they were, yeah.
Which would be Realm of Insanity, I believe.
Yeah, you do this event, this challenge in groups. So it's not a guild challenge. It's a 6-man challenge.
To me, this is pretty much reinforcing the whole point of practice, practice, practice.
Yep.
So
it really matters. You got it. Every second counts. Setting up your hotkeys quickly matters.
No
getting to the next mob matters.
All the mobs, getting through, getting back to the NPC that'll take you to the next instance.
Yep. Knowing where that guy is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Knowing your way through permafrost.
I'm pretty sure
we saw some groups have people get lost in permafrost, and that's happened to everybody. You know, you take a wrong turn, you fall in a pit, and
you're done.
And you're done, yeah. and you're being eaten by bears.
Game
Thankfully,
over.
there were no bears in this event, but that's going to cost you a lot of time.
Bears and spiders.
If you fall in a hole.
So I think we're pretty soon going to throw back to Maggie, who's going to have the big monies.
There's a lot of hubbub going on out there. It looks
a lot of huddling up and shaking hands.
We're crunching some numbers. We're going to see who the top 3 guilds were. Top 3, I guess not guilds. Groups were.
It does. That's impressive.
Oh, there's some people hugging it out.
Good times.
I think you can see that on the feed. There they are. Their hearts must be pounding right now.
I know my heart would be pounding if somebody's about to get $1,000. I like money.
I like money too.
We should totally hang out.
Very good. I can't wait to shake these guys' hands after we get done here.
Yeah, that was I know we made the event a little bit different this year, but still, that was an impressive display, especially from the group that was on the second group of computers down there, because they were dropping behind. They were actually lagging behind this first group, who was just crushing things left and right. And then slowly but surely, as the NPCs got more and more difficult, they seemed to pick up the slack and make up ground. So that was impressive.
Yeah, I think that the changes to the event worked out pretty well this year. We were able to get a little further, see some more NPCs.
Yep.
Get a little further in the event.
And then we'll have to see if we return with this event next year, or if we do something new.
That's a high possibility. We might do something new next year, or we could take what we learned this year, make some changes. And I'd like to see some different class makeups. It looked like there was a pretty stable, steady group that people were picking.
Agreed.
You take your mage for sure, your shaman for sure, your necro for sure.
I'm going to hazard a guess and say that because these two groups are from the same guild, they probably worked out the strategy and went, "This is what we think the best makeup is, so let's run with that and see how that rolls out."
Yeah, did they do the same groups? It looked like they did. They both ran with monks. They both
mage,
ran with
necro,
with
clero,
enchanters,
shaman,
which not every group did. The monk and the enchanter were not 100% for other teams.
Well, I guess we're going to throw to Maggie here shortly.
And then can I have all of you guys?
Because Maggie's got money.
Great job, guys.
Maggie with the money.
One more on that side?
One more over here. I'm so fine.
All the confusion of who's going to stand where to collect their rewards.
Yeah, tallest to shortest. There you go.
And there we go.
All right.
All
we
off.
know the winners. This is for $6,000. But first, we got to give some shout outs to the third and second place. Third place, Vulak. Or actually, no, we have, Vulak, which 385. And Mail Order Bride as second place. So congratulations. Good job, guys. We'll be having your awards later. But right now, we're going to give a big shout out to Realm of Insanity. Woo, and you were super, we got this, we have this. So you're lucky you did, because if you didn't, we'd be having a different conversation right now. Actually, we wouldn't be having a conversation at all. Yeah, nothing. So how are you guys feeling about this?
We're not very happy at all. No, I'm kidding.
Man.
We're super psyched. Like, we practiced a lot, and we're really happy. Our other guild team did great, and I'm glad they got second.
Yeah, the cheering from both of the teams was fantastic. You guys were neck and neck. It was amazing. Like, people were shouting and screaming. The casters were getting excited about it. So you guys just did really great. All the teams. everybody who competed today on the EverQuest tournament. Congratulations, good job, everybody, for trying out. Let's give everybody in the EverQuest tournament a big round of applause. Yeah, all right. So I need to hand you guys this lovely thing that I would like you guys to roll out. Yeah, you can totally cash that. I don't know if they'll actually give you anything for it. There you go. We're going to take some pictures of these guys while... We can get some other photos after this. All right. We have Roshan here, the community manager. He's now a professional photographer as well. It's his side job. All right, great job, guys. I just want to get back in here for a moment and let me hop in here for just a second so I can get some final words from you guys. Let's hear it.
I'm happy. I know, dude, I'm just so excited. I don't know what to say. I'm just so proud of everyone on my team, and hopefully we'll win next year too. So.
I love it. I love the hugs after. Great, championship. You guys are fantastic. Good job. And now we're going to go check out what's going on with the EverQuest 2 tournament. Again, huge round of applause to everybody in the EverQuest tournament. Congratulations to the champions. Yeah, you get to keep that. That's yours. They're fighting over who's going to get it. Maybe cut it up. Figure out who's whose.
Let's sumo for it. Okay.
I need to... Hey guys, we have one more announcement. We kind of messed up the names there. We had Mail Order Bride as the second place for the EverQuest tournament, and third place was Eternal Awesome. I was wondering, I thought those guys were doing really well. So Eternal Awesome, congratulations once more. I'm sorry we had your name wrong the first time there, but congratulations to all the people who are competing in the EverQuest tournament. Currently, we have the EverQuest 2 tournament still going. We have the final team. This is the team that won championship last year, and now they're doing pretty well. Actually, I'm going to talk to Dave here if he wants to hop up and kind of give us some info on what's going on. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
What's that?
We're talking about this final team that's playing, but kind of fill us in on what's going on.
Well, one of the things that they're doing is they're only using one healer, so they have a lot more DPS. They're really, honestly, they're blowing everyone away on the pace so far. But the real key is going to be getting that third boss, which it looks like they're getting ready to try. So
they had a little bit of a rough moment where they kept dying a couple times. I think they died like 3 times in a row, right?
Yeah, once they got on the inside of the ship after going across the deck after the first boss, they kept pulling extras and adds inside that room, which you like to call Fireflight's death trap. When we did it, that's where we got killed a lot by him, just so he knows.
And we also, I was kind of curious, what are the team makeups? Unfortunately, we can't, I just want to mention that we can't show you guys the gameplay for this last team that's playing because they're not hooked up to the same PCs that we had up here. They're playing on the side stage. So unfortunately, we don't have footage, so we're just going to recap it to you guys vocally. What were the kind of common things that you saw between the top 3 teams so far?
Looks like the top teams are able to pull it off with only a single healer.
Maybe that added DPS is what's helping them meet that timer mark?
Without a doubt. They also tend to have bards. Top teams.
Oh, man. Who's playing? There are teams playing without a bard? Anybody who raids in EverQuest 2 knows you need a bard in every group, right? Right? You hearing me? Bards? No? No one? No cheers for bards? Dirges? Troubadours? Come on. All right.
So yeah, the one healer thing, which most teams couldn't pull off, so they went with 2.
Were they all kind of using the same type of healer, or were there different types of healers being utilized?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, maybe not. So it's typically Inquisitors, Templars, or Wardens.
All right. We saw a couple different teams trying Defiler as well, and that didn't work out for them as well.
Well, Defiler worked out well when combined with another healer, but alone was kind of rough. Also, the extra healing, or I should say the ward that they would put to help with that initial incoming damage really proved to do well for the less experienced teams.
So let's talk about the people who weren't able to make those markers, who were probably not in the top 3 at the moment. What do you think their biggest falters were?
I would say probably class makeup. A lot of them that either went way too defensive or way too offensive. It seems like that happy medium was the way to go. Also, some of the teams tried using monks or bruisers as tanks, and they just couldn't hold out against these guys.
All right, and look what we have here. I think they're buffing up. They're preparing for their next battle. They have this, I think that, they have their leaders that are talking. They're all trying to tell each other what they're going to do with this next fight.
So a couple of groups have made it and pulled the 3rd boss, but none of them have defeated this boss yet.
Oh, you were wrong. There was a wrong information being provided. All right.
In reality, one team beat it after the timer. They were fighting it during the timer. They beat it with over 4 seconds, so it doesn't count.
Oh, they at least defeated it, but they weren't able to make it. Wonder what the time is on this right now. What are we making at? Maybe we can.
I don't know. What's the time?
Rob, what's our time? 5 minutes. 5:50. So about 6 minutes left in the round. Maybe we can get a shot on these guys. We're just going to move a cam on over to that area so you guys can get some footage of the gameplay because this is pretty intense. So let's build a story here, you guys. I'm going to go sit down by the casters while we're watching this over-the-shoulder action. Maybe I can sit in between you guys. Makes it easy. All right. So these guys are competing for first place against Chocolate Thunder. Is Chocolate Thunder around? Oh, yeah, they're over there. They're already ready. They're like, this is an intense battle. All right, so what are you guys thinking so far?
Well, they're doing pretty well. They just killed the 3rd boss, and they're on their way to the final boss of the zone. There's nothing left, just the Tempest. So they're strategizing right now, but I think they got it.
Oh, you do. So what about you? Do you share the feelings of the Zelgad?
Well, I think they've got it pretty well won here. However, they did only bring along the one healer. And they've run into a couple of bosses that have actually been kind of difficult for them with the one healer. They've actually had to make up for that by trying to burn the boss down as quickly as possible once they pass the little tricks that the boss has. They're like, burn it quickly before it kills us all. And that's worked. It's managed to work for them, but they have died a few times. So here.
Yeah, we did see them die about 3 times on a previous boss, I believe, right? And that put them back a little bit.
I believe it was twice, and they just died once on the third boss. But on the second boss, they had it down to under 1%, and they all went down. And there they are. They're done.
Oh, man, and there they have it. Nicely done.
Good job, guys.
Did you get all 4 in the time? What do you need? Okay, so first place is worldwide first. Second place is Chocolate Thunder.
Doesn't matter. It's in your chat log.
Team Bad Idea is fourth or third.
That's on any times.
If it helps any, fourth place. Okay, so 3 bosses or all bosses. Second one is second boss 16 minutes. The third place is second boss 16 minutes on the nose. And the third place is second boss 24 minutes 42 seconds.
All right, it looks like we have a winner for the EverQuest 2 tournament, winning $6,000, going home with a prize, worldwide first. What if you didn't get worldwide first? What would happen?
It'd be a strange announcement. Second place, worldwide first.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. But they beat all the bosses just in the time. We were a little worried for you guys.
I wasn't.
Yeah, it didn't seem like Zelgad was either. He was like, they got this. He's like shaking, man. He's like nervous. So what was your guys' strategy going into this and like your team makeup?
So we basically planned to just blow everything up before it could kill us because we knew we didn't have any buttons to press. And it worked.
All right, that's easy enough. He makes it sound really easy, but apparently some other people couldn't do it as well. Then we have Chocolate Thunder with second place. They got the second boss down at 16 minutes. And finally, third place, Team Bad Idea. They were doing quite well at second boss, 24 minutes, 43 seconds, but just shy enough to get to second place, so they were third. And we don't have a banner for you guys, unfortunately, just because we had some issues with them sending it to us, but we are going to make sure that you guys get your money. So thank you so much again. Congratulations to all the teams that competed at EverQuest on the EverQuest 2 tournament. Round of applause to everyone who competed. Congratulations, guys. Really great job. All right. And any final words before we send you off to get some photos?
I think what Arabelle said last year, just have fun.
Nice. Okay, that's nice and easy. All right, go ahead and get close. Smile for the camera over there. They're going to be taking, oh, he's right there, taking some pictures of you guys. And they're probably going to have you come up on the stage as well and take some photos. All right, second and third winners, Chocolate Thunder and Team Bad Idea, come up to the stage. We want to give you guys your reward.
And they kept making comments about how we went up the left side instead of the right side.
Yeah, we had that each strategy of each side. Each one of your dad, you want to do next. If you want, they're already going. They're on EverQuest.
The problem is I can't tell when I'm on, so it's like.
I'll go.
All right, everyone. That wraps it up for our tournaments for EverQuest and EverQuest 2. We're going to be having more tournaments tomorrow, DCO, PlanetSide 2, etc. So you're going to want to tune in right here, twitch.tv/SOE. We're going to be having streams all day as well as some more tonight. But if you are tuning in for EverQuest Next action, do check it out over at twitch.tv/EverQuest Next. And we'll be back here on this channel shortly with some action from Zombieland. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.